Part 1. A Boy with Big Dreams. Barack Obama was born on August 4, 1961, in Honolulu, Hawaii. His mother, Ann Dunham, was from Kansas, and his father, Barack Obama Sr., was from Kenya. His parents met while studying at the University of Hawaii. They separated when Barack was still very young. As a child, Barack lived in many different places. He spent some of his early years in Indonesia, where his mother married an Indonesian man. He learned to speak some Indonesian and saw how people lived in different parts of the world. He also saw poverty, which made a deep impression on him. Later, he returned to Hawaii to live with his grandparents. They believed strongly in education and helped him attend a good school. Barack loved to read. He asked big questions. Why are some people poor? Why do people fight wars? How can we make the world better? People called him Barry. He was a smart student, but sometimes felt out of place. He was one of the few black students in his school. He wondered about his identity. Who was he? Where did he belong? These questions stayed with him as he grew up. Part 2. Searching for Identity. After high school, Barack moved to California to attend Occidental College. Then, he transferred to Columbia University in New York City. He studied political science and learned more about history, race, and justice. Life in New York was not easy. Barack lived in small apartments and worked hard. He walked through rich neighborhoods and poor ones. He saw inequality up close. He read books by great writers and thinkers. He wanted to make a difference, but wasn't sure how. After graduating, Barack worked as a community organizer in Chicago. His job was to help people in poor neighborhoods, people who had lost jobs when factories closed, who lived in unsafe housing, and who wanted better schools for their children. He listened. He helped. He learned. People respected him. He saw that real change happens when people work together. During this time, he visited Kenya to learn more about his father, who had passed away. The trip changed him. He stood on the land where his ancestors had lived. He saw the village where his father grew up. He felt a deep connection to Africa and a deeper understanding of himself. Part 3. The Law and Love. Barack decided to study law. He was accepted to Harvard Law School, one of the best in the country. There, he became the first black president of the Harvard Law Review, a student-run legal journal. This achievement brought him national attention. After law school, he returned to Chicago. He became a civil rights lawyer and taught law at the University of Chicago. He believed the law could be a tool for justice, not just rules in a book. One day, Barack met a young lawyer named Michelle Robinson. She was smart, confident, and kind. They worked at the same law firm. Michelle was Barack's mentor, but soon they fell in love. They shared the same values: hard work, family, and the belief that people can help each other. They got married in 1992 and started a family. Later, they had two daughters, Malia and Sasha. Barack and Michelle supported each other in everything they did. Their love was strong, and their bond became a model for many. Part 4. A rising star in politics. Barack wanted to bring change to a larger community. In 1996, he ran for the Illinois State Senate and won. As a senator, he worked on laws to help people with low incomes, improve health care, and reform the criminal justice system. People noticed his calm, clear way of speaking. He explained complicated ideas so everyone could understand. He listened to people's problems and tried to solve them. In 2004, he ran for the U.S. Senate. During the campaign, he gave a powerful speech at the Democratic National Convention. He spoke about unity and hope. There is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America. His speech amazed the country. People from all backgrounds saw something special in him. He won the election and became a U.S. Senator. Now he had a bigger stage. He worked on national issues, health care, energy, education, and ending the Iraq War. He traveled the country, met citizens, and listened to their concerns. Part 5. The Road to the White House. In 2007, Barack Obama made a bold decision. He announced that he would run for President of the United States. At that time, many people in America did not know much about him. He was still a junior senator. He was young, and no African-American man had ever become president. Some people thought it was impossible. Others thought it was too soon. But Barack had a deep belief. He believed that America could change for the better. He said, "I'm in this race not just to hold an office, but to gather with you to transform a nation." His campaign began with small events. He spoke in school gyms, church halls, parks, and even small restaurants. He met people face to face, asking about their worries and hopes. Michelle Obama, his wife, was by his side, supporting him every step of the way. She spoke at rallies, encouraged voters, and reminded people that change begins with everyday citizens. Barack focused on real issues that affected real people. He talked about health care, jobs, education, student debt, the environment, and ending the war in Iraq. He listened carefully to voters. He shook hands with teachers, farmers, nurses, and factory workers. His team used new tools like email, YouTube, Facebook, and text messages to connect with young people and volunteers across the country. He inspired thousands of people to take part in politics for the first time. Volunteers joined his campaign in record numbers. They made phone calls, knocked on doors, and handed out flyers. The campaign felt more like a movement than just an election. As the race continued, Barack faced a strong and respected opponent, Hillary Clinton. She had years of experience and many powerful supporters. But Barack's message, hope, unity, and change, resonated deeply. He stayed calm, respectful, and focused. During debates, he used logic and calm speech instead of anger or fear. Slowly, he gained more support. One by one, states voted for him in the primary elections. Eventually, he became the Democratic nominee. In the general election, Barack faced John McCain, a well-known senator and war hero. The country was going through a financial crisis. People were scared, banks were failing, jobs were disappearing. Barack promised steady leadership, intelligent decisions, and a focus on rebuilding the economy. During the campaign, he gave many speeches that moved people to tears. He spoke not just about policies, but about values, hope, responsibility, respect, and love for the country. His speeches were filled with stories about his mother, about people he met, about his own challenges growing up, and those stories touched millions. He often repeated his main message, "Yes, we can." On November 4th, 2008, Americans went to vote. That night, history was made. Barack Obama became the 44th President of the United States and the first African American to hold the office. In Chicago's Grant Park, he stood in front of a sea of cheering supporters. People of all races and backgrounds came together. Some cried. Others hugged their children tightly, knowing they were witnessing a moment they never thought possible. He said, "If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, tonight is your answer." The world celebrated. In cities across the globe, people danced, lit candles, and shared in the joy of something new. Part 6. The first term as president. Barack Obama was sworn in as president on January 20th, 2009. A huge crowd gathered in Washington, D.C. to witness the historic moment. Millions more watched on TV around the world. It was a time of great hope, but also great difficulty. The country was in a deep financial crisis. Banks were closing. People were losing their jobs and homes. Barack knew he had to act quickly. In his first few weeks, he signed laws to help the economy recover. He supported programs to create jobs and rebuild roads, bridges, and schools. He helped save the car industry by providing support to car companies in trouble. These decisions were not always popular, but they helped prevent a worse collapse. He also focused on education. He encouraged innovation in schools and gave more funds to students through college grants. He believed every child deserved a quality education, no matter their background or zip code. One of his biggest goals was to reform health care. Many Americans had no health insurance. Medical bills were the #1 reason for bankruptcy. After long debates in Congress, President Obama signed the Affordable Care Act in 2010. Some called it Obamacare. It made health care available to millions more people. It allowed young adults to stay on their parents' plans until age 26, and stopped insurance companies from denying coverage for pre-existing conditions. The law faced strong opposition and many court challenges, But Barack stood firm. He believed healthcare was a right, not a privilege. He also made decisions about war and peace. He ordered more troops to Afghanistan, but also set a timeline to bring them home. He gave the order for a mission that led to the death of Osama bin Laden in 2011, the leader of the terrorist group responsible for the 9/11 attacks. Americans across the country felt relief and closure. Barack worked to improve the U.S. image abroad. He traveled to many countries and spoke about respect, peace, and cooperation. He won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009, though he said he didn't feel he deserved it yet. He hoped to live up to that honor by promoting diplomacy and international understanding. At home, his first term was filled with both progress and struggle. Some people doubted him. Others criticized his ideas. Racist attacks and conspiracy theories spread online. Still, he kept working with calm focus. He believed in the American people and their ability to choose hope over fear. In 2012, Barack ran for re-election against Mitt Romney. The campaign was tough. The country was still divided. But once again, millions of people believed in his message. On election night, Barack won a second term. He stood before his supporters and said, "The best is yet to come." Part 7. The Second Term and the Obama Family. Barack Obama began his second term in January 2013. The country had changed a lot since he was first elected. The economy was improving, but many Americans were still struggling. Political divisions were also growing deeper. Barack knew the challenges were serious, but he still believed in progress through unity and understanding. One of his top priorities during the second term was climate change. He believed that protecting the planet was not only an environmental issue, it was a moral responsibility. He created new rules to reduce carbon emissions from power plants. He worked with car companies to make vehicles more fuel efficient. He protected public lands and national parks. He also signed the Paris Climate Agreement in 2015, along with nearly every country in the world. The agreement was a global promise to fight climate change together. At home, Barack continued to defend and improve the Affordable Care Act. Opponents tried many times to stop or cancel it, but Barack stayed strong. He made sure millions of Americans could keep their health insurance. He also signed laws to protect consumers from dishonest banks and credit companies. He worked hard to improve the criminal justice system. He visited prisons and spoke with inmates. He believed people deserved second chances. He supported reforms to reduce long prison sentences, especially for nonviolent crimes. He also called attention to racial inequality and police violence. He said that America needed to face its history and have honest conversations about race. Social change continued to move forward. In June 2015, the Supreme Court ruled that same-sex marriage was legal across the country. Barack celebrated the decision. That night, the White House was lit with rainbow colors. It was a powerful moment of inclusion and love. Throughout his presidency, Barack remained a dedicated husband and father. Michelle Obama, the First Lady, was a strong and graceful partner. She started the Let's Move campaign to fight childhood obesity. She visited schools and military bases, encouraging children to eat healthy and exercise. She also supported education for girls around the world through her Let Girls Learn initiative. Malaya and Sasha grew up while living in the White House. Barack often said that being a dad was his most important job. He made time to eat dinner with his family almost every night. He helped with homework, attended school events, and tried to give his daughters a normal life, even while being president. In 2015, Barack gave a moving eulogy at the funeral of Reverend Clementa Pinckney, a black pastor who was killed in a church shooting in South Carolina. Barack spoke about faith, forgiveness, and America's need to heal. Then he surprised the crowd by singing Amazing Grace. The moment was emotional and unforgettable. Despite his efforts, Barack faced constant resistance from Congress, especially from the Republican majority in the Senate. Many of his ideas and laws were blocked or delayed. Still, he remained calm and respectful. He believed in working hard and staying hopeful. Part 8. Leaving the White House and Looking Ahead. In January 2017, Barack Obama's second term ended. He and Michelle packed their things and moved out of the White House. They welcomed the new president, Donald Trump, and showed the world how democracy works, even when people have different ideas. Before leaving, Barack gave a powerful farewell speech in his hometown of Chicago. Thousands of people gathered to hear him. He thanked his team, his family, and all the Americans who supported him. He reminded the nation, quote, "The most important office in a democracy is not president, it's citizen," end quote. He told people to stay involved, speak up, and care for one another. He ended his speech with the words, "Yes, we can. Yes, we did. Yes, we can." After leaving office, Barack and Michelle took some time to rest and reflect. But soon they began a new chapter. They started the Obama Foundation, an organization focused on leadership, education, and community service. They planned to build the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago, a place to teach young people how to make change. Barack wrote a memoir called A Promised Land. In it, he told his life story with honesty and depth. He wrote about his childhood, his mistakes, his hopes, and the lessons he learned as president. Readers around the world praised the book for its wisdom and heart. Michelle also wrote a best-selling memoir, Becoming. She shared her story, from growing up in a working-class family in Chicago to becoming First Lady. Her book inspired millions, especially women and girls. The Obamas also started a production company to create films and documentaries. They believed that storytelling could help people understand each other and build a better future. Even though Barack was no longer in office, he continued to speak out. He gave speeches, encouraged young leaders, and promoted democracy. During hard times, like the COVID-19 pandemic, or times of national crisis, he offered calm words and guidance. He reminded people that change is not easy and progress takes time. But he also believed that if people work together, listen to each other, and never lose hope, a better world is always possible. Barack Obama's story is more than just politics. It's about faith in people. It's about rising above challenges. It's about leading with grace and honesty. And even after the presidency, his voice continues to echo across the world, in classrooms, in communities, and in the hearts of all those who believe, yes, we can. Thanks for watching. Take action today, not tomorrow. Press subscribe. And let's keep learning together. You're doing great. See you in the next one. Stay strong.